Hey everybody, this is Don again, and it is time for episode 47 of Practical Reality. It's a Saturday afternoon, about 4:15 I think. It's already starting to get dark outside. I've got a little lighting in the apartment complex here to film this video by, and it's 12 days until Christmas, and we're expecting snow tonight. Whether or not we get a lot of snow is problematic. Maybe we get an inch or two if we're lucky, but we are going to get a little snow. I love it. And today's topic I'm going to talk to you about is getting into the Christmas spirit. We are 12 days away from Christmas, and it's time to get into the spirit. And if you can't, I'm going to try to help you do that. You know, it's funny. The other day, I was feeling a little sad. I think that was Wednesday afternoon, and sort of not in the Christmas spirit. And I actually reached out to a couple of friends who helped me talk about and process the feelings I was going through. And we discussed it on the men's team that I lead on Wednesday night, and it really helped. So there's my first tip. If you're not in the Christmas spirit, reach out to somebody. 12 days to Christmas, you'll probably be with people you care about on Christmas Day, hopefully. And that will obviously be a positive experience for you. But, you're not there yet. So if there's something that's holding you back, something that's keeping you from feeling in the Christmas spirit, reach out to someone that you care about and that cares about you, that's sincere with you, that will help you to understand what you're going through. That is really important because you don't want to isolate yourself at a time like this. And I know that there are people out there who are isolated at this time of the year and who feel particularly sad. And I've gone through periods like that before. I have spent Christmases and Thanksgivings alone, and it's really sucks. So, if you have the possibility of reaching out to somebody who can make you feel better about yourself and make you understand the spirit of the holidays, do that at your first opportunity because it's really important. I remember being a kid every year and watching the Charlie Brown Christmas special, and I always loved it. And now it's like, I don't know, somehow it's not available on TV. They don't show it on TV anymore, which is terrible. The bidding war, whatever's going on with it, who knows. But that used to be the key, the start of the Christmas season. I think they used to show that like a few days after Thanksgiving every year. And I used to love that. And that really kicked off the Christmas season for me. And you can't see that anymore. So think of some way, some tradition that you had in the past to help you feel more in the Christmas spirit. The one thing that I do is I have my favorite Christmas CD of music. I know some people are going to say CD, oh my God, what a dinosaur. But yeah, I still have my Christmas CD that I like to listen to. It's probably the only time I use my CD player anymore from year to year. And you put that on and, it's whatever, it is 45 minutes long. And that is a real boost to the spirit. Go in there and listen to that music, whatever music you have. If you're not using CDs, you're using streaming services, whatever you have, go put some Christmas music on because it really helps. It's really an uplift to the spirit. And I think it's a great idea to just infuse yourself with that atmosphere. Just like any other kind of music accentuates the feeling that you're feeling or can change the feelings that you're having. I've spoken before in the last video, as a matter of fact, about classical, how it helps me really, counteract the negativity that I'm encountering on a daily basis just because of its inherent beauty. So that's the same kind of feeling you can get using Christmas music. And I think you should try to do that if you are struggling to find a way to get into the Christmas spirit. That's just the first thing. Actually, the second thing. Reach out to someone that you know who will, make you feel better about yourself. And second, listen to Christmas music. Now, I know for some people, shopping is a nightmare. Some people, obviously, if you have kids in the house, this kind of thing, which we don't anymore. But if you have kids in the house and you're like, they're all running around making Christmas lists and you're decorating a tree and you got lights out and that kind of stuff, then the Christmas season is upon you. And it's unquestionable. It's around you all the time. But, with me and my wife, we're getting older and, we don't have the kids around anymore. And, it's just the two of us and we don't do a lot of decorating, this kind of thing. So, getting into the Christmas season spirit can be a little bit harder. That's why I'm making this video, to try and help people, anybody else who's feeling sort of a lack of motivation about Christmas, because that's what I was feeling a few days ago. And given the using those two things that I just mentioned to you, reaching out to people and playing the music, it got me out of the rut. And then the shopping can be, thinking about it can be, dealing with the crowds can be daunting. And, you got people in line who are like so out of control. So I do most of my Christmas shopping online, and I got a lot of it done today, which was great. And it's funny, my wife and I, when I think about what to buy my wife for Christmas, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I have no idea. Come like the 1st of December, I have no idea what I'm going to buy my wife for Christmas. But then I start to observe her, and there are things that I notice about her, things that she needs that I can tell she needs, things that part of her routine, things that she uses on a regular basis. And then there's also things that I think of that try to make her feel a little bit special, make her feel appreciated. My wife and I do a good job of telling each other how much we appreciate each other on a regular basis. So that's not missing in our marriage. But there's still that aspect of Christmas now coming where, yes, I can buy her things that she needs and she'll use and this kind of thing. But there's also that little extra special thing that I buy that she's not expecting, that will, knock her socks off and say, wow, that's really thoughtful of you, and I'll enjoy this. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it was, and I probably have one other thing in mind that I might want to get her too. But that's the whole thing. The shopping aspect of it, if you can remove the negativity of the crowds and the noise and the, like the traffic and this kind of thing, separate that out from your ego and your reality, and you can just enjoy the fact that you are giving these gifts to people you love. And I think that's a really important viewpoint to approach the Christmas season shopping season with. And remember now, in my Thanksgiving message, I said use Thanksgiving. I said Thanksgiving's like an oasis. It comes along, and it's right in the middle of the week, and you have to stop what you're doing, the fast pace of the modern life. You have to stop that, and you get to slow down for an entire day and just relax and eat and be with people you love. And I said maybe the one key takeaway you can take from Thanksgiving, other than the time you spend with your family, is to build momentum for yourself, to try and feel positive and try and feel thankful and grateful for the things that you have, because that's what Thanksgiving is supposed to be about anyway, right? Maybe that sometimes gets lost in the fact that you're eating too much and drinking and watching football and being with your family. Yes, you have that sort of unacknowledged thanks. I'm not sure how many families actually sit around and, make a toast to being grateful and thankful for each other. I don't think that ever happened in my family. It was sort of like unwritten. But to actually speak it and to actually perceive it yourself and make it a part of your thinking. I said Thanksgiving can be the first day to build momentum towards thinking that way all the time. And so now here we are a few weeks later in the Christmas season, and you have the opportunity to take that momentum and put it into the spirit of Christmas and do the shopping and do the decorations and that kind of stuff and play the music. And that will help lift you out of any funk you might be feeling. And I think that's, very, very important as far as how you approach it, and take away what, like they said in the Charlie Brown special, take away the commercial aspect of Christmas. And if religion is important to you and you look at this holiday as the birth of Jesus, and you want to, incorporate that aspect into it, that's also very important to you if you are a religious person. Let that sort of spirit of the love that Jesus brought into the world infuse you, and let that drive you forward to try to be more tolerant with the people you're going to deal with when you go to places like the mall and have to deal with people who are just, stealing your parking spots and cutting you in line and, this kind of thing. And, so I think that there's so much out there that can be done, that can be perceived and recognized as essential to the Christmas season. So I think that using that, all of that, as inspiration for gratitude is very, very important for everyone to recognize. So then the obvious question, if you're a follower of my channel, is to say, okay, that's all fine, well and good advice, but what's the spiritual aspect of this message? And that's what every one of my videos is supposed to have, right? A spiritual sort of message. So the spiritual aspect of this message is key to forming new habits, or the physical effect of forming new habits is to create new neural pathways in the brain, to rewire, to reprogram your mind, okay? So if you have an encounter where you are feeling negative or just not into the holidays, then it's important to take the time to reflect, sit quietly, calm your mind, use the 4, 5, 6 breathing exercise that I have mentioned in other videos that I do use on my men's team regularly to quiet your mind. And that particular exercise engages the parasympathetic nervous system, which will then take you out of the fight or flight state that your body and mind are in almost 24/7, except for when you're sleeping, of course. So you spend your whole entire day moving in fast gear, thinking and functioning and working and, going to the gym and, and cooking and, all the other stuff, taking care of the kids, all that stuff. And you wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and before you know it, it's 10 o'clock at night and you haven't slowed down once. So take that time. That's the spiritual aspect. Take the time to breathe slowly. Use that 4, 5, 6 breathing exercise to engage your parasympathetic nervous system. And then your mind will be quieter and you can begin to reflect on how you want your life to be and how you want yourself to change, to move yourself into that new life by attracting the things that you want. And all that takes is some good quiet time with some visualization, feeling the peace, raising your vibration, concentrating on your breath and on the feeling of gratitude. And then you can become a more peaceful person and you can step back from your daily routine that grinds you for 16 hours a day and become a quieter, stiller, more calm person who can take a deep breath and begin to appreciate what they have. You have all this stuff in your life every single day. And how often do you actually take the time to sit back and say, wow, I'm so lucky for what I have. Some days what you have seems like the burden. And other days it can be a blessing. And you can turn it every day into a blessing if you want, if you actually sit and do that exercise and take some time to breathe and slow down. Because life is geared towards keeping you in that heightened state all the time. And if you don't get out of that fight or flight response state of mind that you're in, then you are programmed to be running in fourth gear all the time. And that's not healthy for you. You'll grind yourself out. And you don't want to do that. You're too beautiful, you're too young, you're too vital to let that happen to yourself. So be aware of the fact that you have the capability to step back and take that deep breath and appreciate what you have and face the grind and the routines and the madness of the world with courage and with gratitude and with thankfulness and with joy in your heart instead of resentment and mistrust and fear and anger. All of those emotions are grinding you down. And the more that you can avoid those and step back away from those and employ the more positive emotions, the better off you're going to be. And isn't that the best way you could think of to spend the Christmas season? To be in a joyful state of mind with the people that you love and doing the things that you know are going to make them happy on Christmas Day. And I think that is the best way to approach the holidays. And if you're feeling sad like I was, do your best to try and use some of those methods to get yourself out of that rut and start appreciating who you are, what you've done, what you've got. And then you can begin to pave the way towards the path of greater happiness and accomplishment and prosperity without having to feel negative and ground down all the time. Thank you very much for listening. This is Don. It's episode 47 of Practical Reality. I hope everyone gets something good out of this message, and that you like and subscribe and comment. Peace, happiness, and prosperity to you all.